There's a moment many people experience when they realize the problem isn't a lack of effort, it's a lack of effort, it's a lack of direction. You try one diet, then you cut carbs, skip meals, follow strict plans, and for a while you feel hopeful. But sooner or later life catches up. The routine breaks, and the results fade, and what's left isn't just extra weight, it's frustration, confusion, and the quiet fear that nothing will truly work. But fat loss was never meant to feel like punishment. Your body isn't something you need to fight. Shuwan. It's something you need to understand. When nutrition supports your energy instead of draining it, when meals are structured instead of random, and when your habits align with your goals, change stops feeling forced and starts feeling natural. A complete diet plan isn't about eating less food. It's about eating with purpose. It's about giving your body what it needs to burn fat without constantly feeling tired or deprived. Because real fitness isn't built through extremes. It's built through consistency. Today isn't about starting another temporary diet, it's about learning how to build a system you can live with. A system that supports your health, your confidence, and your future. And the decision to begin that system can start right now. For many people, the journey toward fat loss doesn't begin with excitement, it begins with exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, but emotional fatigue from trying again and again without seeing results that last. You start with hope, convinced that this new plan will finally be the one. You prepare meals, search for rules, follow schedules, and for a short time it feels like progress is happening. But then something shifts. Life gets busy, motivation fades, or the plan becomes too hard to maintain. And slowly, the routine slips away. What makes this cycle painful isn't just the weight returning. It's the feeling that comes with it. The sense that you somehow failed, even though you tried. Each attempt that doesn't work adds a layer of doubt. You begin to question your discipline, your habits, even your ability to change. The mirror stops being just a reflection and starts feeling like a reminder of unfinished promises. Over time, the frustration grows deeper than food choices or workouts. It becomes mental. You may still want to improve your health. But part of you hesitates to believe it's possible. You scroll through fitness advice, listen to success stories, and wonder why it seems easier for others. The real struggle isn't always visible. It's the internal conversation that says, I've tried before, what if it's the same again? This emotional weight is often heavier than the physical one. It affects confidence, daily energy, and how you show up in your own life. When belief starts to fade, effort usually follows. People don't stop caring. They stop trusting the process. But the truth is, the issue has rarely been effort. Most people haven't lacked commitment, they've lacked a method that fits their life and their body. And the moment someone understands that fat loss isn't about endless restriction but about clear structure, something shifts inside them. Because when hope returns, even quietly, the journey doesn't feel impossible anymore, it feels possible again. What many people don't realize is that fat loss doesn't fail because the body is stubborn, it fails because the plan is unsustainable. Most traditional diets are built around the idea of restriction. Eat less. Cut more. Avoid this, eliminate that. At first it sounds logical. If you remove enough food, the weight should drop. And sometimes it does for a short while. But what these plans ignore is how the human body and mind actually respond to extreme. When you restrict too much, your body doesn't see it as a smart strategy, it sees it as a threat. Energy levels dip, cravings increase, and your system naturally tries to protect itself by slowing metabolism and holding on to stored energy. At the same time, your mind begins to feel the pressure. Food stops being nourishment and starts feeling like a test of willpower. Feed on in. Every meal becomes a decision, every craving a battle. Over time, this constant tension creates fatigue, not just physically but mentally. That's why structure matters more than strictness. A smart plan doesn't rely on forcing yourself to eat as little as possible. Vegetarian. It focuses on eating in a way that supports your body's rhythm. When meals are balanced, timed well, and designed to sustain energy, the process stops feeling like punishment. You're not constantly fighting hunger or thinking about what you're missing. Instead, you're fueling your body in a way that helps it function better. Real fat loss happens when your body feels safe enough to release stored energy, not when it's the difference between a temporary diet and a sustainable approach. One depends on willpower alone. Chewbacca lacks with the other works with biology, routine, and consistency. When people shift from restriction to structure, something changes. They stop chasing quick fixes and start building habits they can actually maintain. And when a plan becomes livable instead of extreme, results don't just appear faster, they last longer too. Many people treat nutrition and fitness as two separate things. They think food is only about weight and exercise is only about strength. But in reality, the two are deeply connected. What you eat doesn't just influence the number on the scale, it shapes your energy, your mood, your performance, and your ability to stay consistent with your goals. When nutrition is unbalanced, everything feels harder. If meals are too small, irregular, or lacking in nutrients, energy drops quickly. Workouts feel heavier than they should. Motivation fades faster. Even daily tasks begin to feel draining. In that state, it's not surprising that people skip exercise, lose consistency, or give up on routines that once felt manageable. The issue isn't laziness. It's that the body simply doesn't have the fuel it needs to perform. On the other hand, when nutrition supports your body properly, the difference is noticeable. Balanced meals help stabilize blood sugar, which means fewer sudden crashes in energy. Adequate protein supports muscle maintenance, helping your body stay strong while losing fat. Healthy fats and complex carbohydrates provide longer, lasting fuel, allowing you to move through the day with steadier focus and endurance. Instead of feeling like you're forcing yourself to be active, you start to feel naturally capable of it. This is where fat loss and fitness begin to work together, instead of against each other. Proper nutrition doesn't just help you burn fat, it makes it easier to stay active, recover faster, and build habits that stick. Fitness then reinforces the process by improving metabolism, supporting muscle, and increasing overall energy use together. They create momentum. When people understand this connection, they stop viewing food as the enemy. They begin to see it as a tool, something that supports strength, endurance, and long-term health. And once nutrition and movement start working in harmony, transformation stops feeling like an uphill battle and starts feeling like forward motion. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to lose fat is treating it as a short-term mission instead of a long-term lifestyle shift. They set strict rules, follow them intensely for a few weeks, and hope that once the weight drops, they can go back to their old habits. But the truth is, the habits that created the problem in the first place can't be the same ones that maintain the solution. Short-term dieting often creates fast emotional highs and lows. In the beginning, there's excitement, strict discipline, and visible effort. But because the routine is built on temporary motivation rather than sustainable structure, it usually doesn't last. When the plan ends, people often return to familiar patterns, irregular meals, impulsive choices, or inconsistent activity. Slowly, the results fade, and the cycle begins again. This pattern isn't a lack of determination, it's simply the result of treating fat loss as an event instead of a lifestyle. A sustainable approach looks very different. It doesn't demand perfection, it builds consistency. Instead of asking, "What can I tolerate for a month?" it asks, "What can I live with for years?" That shift in thinking changes everything. Meals become less about strict rules and more about balanced habits. Fitness stops being something you force yourself to do and becomes something that fits naturally into your routine. Progress may feel slower at first, when it's steadier, and most importantly, it lasts. When fat loss becomes part of your lifestyle, it stops feeling temporary. You don't constantly feel like you're on a diet. You simply live in a way that supports your health. This removes the pressure of chasing, quick replaces it with the confidence of knowing your habits are moving you forward every day. Hetalati. Because real transformation isn't built on intense bursts of effort. It's built on small, repeatable actions that become part of who you are, actions that continue long after the initial motivation fades. The most powerful step in any health journey isn't the meal plan, the workout schedule, or even the knowledge you gain along the way. It's the decision to take ownership of your life and follow through on it. That decision often sounds simple, but in reality, it's the turning point where intention becomes action. Many people want change, but fewer choose to commit to it consistently. Taking control of your health doesn't mean becoming perfect overnight. It means becoming intentional. It's choosing to understand your habits instead of ignoring them. It's recognizing that every small choice, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, quietly shapes the person you're becoming. When you begin to see those choices as meaningful rather than minor, your mindset shifts. Health stops being a distant goal and starts becoming part of your daily identity. Shidadam. This is where discipline enters the picture, but not in the harsh way people often imagine. Discipline isn't punishment, it's self-respect in action. It's the decision to show up for yourself even when motivation is low. It's choosing consistency over intensity. Hidam. And progress over perfection. When discipline grows, confidence follows. You start trusting yourself again because your actions begin to match your promises. And once that trust builds, the journey feels different. You're no longer chasing quick fixes or waiting for inspiration. You're moving with purpose. You understand that real change doesn't come from one dramatic day but from hundreds of small, steady ones. When you take control of the health in this way, the results go beyond fat loss or fitness. You gain energy, clarity, and a deeper belief in your ability to shape your future. And that belief becomes the foundation for every transformation that follows. As we bring this together, remember that real change doesn't come from finding the perfect diet or the perfect routine. It comes from understanding yourself, your habits, and the way your body responds to what you do each day. Fat loss and fitness are not separate goals. They are the natural result of consistent, thoughtful choices repeated over time. You don't need to rush this process. And you don't need to overwhelm yourself trying to change everything at once. What matters is direction. When your daily actions begin to support against it, progress starts to feel steady rather than stressful. Energy improves, confidence grows, and the results you once chased begin to follow naturally. So don't think of this as the end of a plan. Think of it as the beginning of a commitment. A commitment to eat awareness, to move with purpose, and to treat your health as something worth protecting every day. Your transformation won't be built in a single moment. It will be built in the quiet choices you make when no one is watching. And the good news is your next choice can start right now.